Last we left Octavia, she pretty much discovered that Vinyl was not just a vampire, but also not the only vampire. A lot of people up in high society, basically Vinyl's parents, and what seems to be Princess Luna, are also vampire ponies. Also, Vinyl has some crazy amount of strength, demonstrated by the horrible dinner that they had to attend to with Octavia's parents. Octavia's mother is a big giant cunt, and it took a little hoof by Vinyl to pretty much alleviate that problem. And Nightmare Night pretty much descended upon them, but thanks to Octavia's nosiness, she ended up nearly getting in trouble with Luna, but wound up getting attacked by what seems to be a werepony. So, with the next chapter, 12, The Secret World, will this mean that Octavia is now a werepony? Or are they even going to try to address curing her? Not with death, but something else. I wonder if Octavia will even be a werepony. So let's get on with more of My Roommate's a Vampire. Chapter 12, The Secret World. And we're going to try to go up to chapter 17. I think that'll be a fair number. You can call me many things. A Renaissance mayor, a musician, an artist, a fool. I was all of those things. And now we could add monster to the list. They were carrying me to a cottage near the Everfree. Go away! No candy here! No visitors on Nightmare Night! Fluttershy, it is I, Princess Luna. We need your assistance. How did it all come to this? Was it a series of bad decisions all on my part? A situation of circumstances and coincidences? Oh my, that looks nasty, the Pegasus squeaked. No, there were no choices made. Things just happened. One thing led to another. That was life. And life, my friends, is unfair. The circle of life. It doesn't stop, it doesn't end, it just keeps going like time. That was how life worked. You can spend your life asking those questions like, why me? What if? My life had been full of what ifs, and maybe lately with some could haves, would haves, and should haves. Looking back, if I had done something differently, would anything have changed? Will I still be the same Octavia today? Currently walking that fine line between life and death. Ooh, a spoiler. Lay her on the couch. Prop up her head, a soft voice commanded. Hottie, stay with me. You're going to be just fine, Vinyl said, touching my forehead. She's hot. She lowered her head, her horn near my wound before Luna pushed her away gently. We would not advise that. Magic may be helpful for small cuts and scrapes, but it might only serve to worsen the injury if you try. Psycho Apple, a wild molestia appears. No, there's no molestia. Vinyl nodded, looking and probably feeling hopeless. She stamped a hoof, growling. Hush, I asked. If you don't mind me asking, should we take her to the hospital? No, Vinyl, Luna shouted. She squeaked. If I had done something differently, it would be some pony else looking back, asking a different set of questions. Right now, something was changing on the outside and inside. Something monstrous. The pain in my leg seems to grow more and more as I writhe. Fluttershy came closer, a roll of bandages in her mouth. I'm sorry, she told me. Please do your best, Fluttershy, Princess Luna said smoothingly. Or soothingly, I guess, as she worked on my side. The gashes were fairly shallow, though they oozed profusely. She used magic to dab at them, causing me to wince. She set about trying to use rubbing alcohol. The touch of the soaked cotton ball at my side made me whimper, though it was nothing compared to the pain in my leg. I could have used a drink right then and there, something strong to make me pass out. I wheezed gasply. Fluttershy inched closer, pouring a bottle of water over the bite marks. I hissed, clutching the sheets beneath me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Vinyl let me squeeze the hoof. I squeezed it as tight as I could. The blood washed away from the bites in my leg. I wasn't prepared for what came next. She poured some rubbing alcohol on my leg. It was like my leg was set on fire. I couldn't help it. I cried. I screamed. I threw my head back. I thrashed. I tried to fight Vinyl and Luna's grip on me. I was howling. Fluttershy wouldn't stop apologizing, even though she began bandaging my leg and Luna began to use butterfly stitches on my side. The pain was unimaginable, to the point I was going blind. I couldn't see anything. The sides of my vision were blacking out. And then it seemed that the pain began to subside. I lay there, my chest heaving as I stared up at the ceiling, watching the fan spin around and around. Hey, I croaked back, sitting up to look at my leg. Something compelled me to look. Morbid curiosity. The pain in my side seemed to multiply as I tried moving. "Don't do that," Fluttershy said. I eased back onto the cushions, breathing slowly. "How do you feel?" Luna asked. "Better," I answered curtly. "Are you going to deal with me now?" She looked rather surprised. "Well, no. Did you hear that?" I nodded lamely. The Princess of the Night didn't seem so mysterious and imposing anymore. She seemed to shrink a little and blush. "We're sorry." She's apologizing? Her word choice could have been a little better, she admitted, though I must say it was very rude to eavesdrop. "Really, Ahti?" "I thought there were no more secrets," I roared suddenly. My voice was hardly elegant, betraying my lack of composure. Violet looked horrified. I'd screamed at her in jest several times, but this time I was truly furious. "I'm sorry," I said, slowly and ashamed. "But you promised me, didn't you?" "It's okay. That wasn't Ahti speaking." What do you mean by that? Luna continued to pester me. "Are you sure you're all right? Any discomfort? You got cravings?" "I'm fine, really." I snapped a little more testily than I should have. "You were bitten by a creature most foul, Octavia." "I shouldn't have followed you, too," I sighed. "Of course, there will be wolves in there." Vino and Luna glanced at each other, once again keeping me out of their imaginary conversation. "Yes. A wolf," she said slowly. "Right." "Yeah, let's go with that. What could possibly go fucking wrong?" I had to get out. I have to move around. I felt almost rejuvenated. I felt drawn to the moonlight shining through the window. I rolled over slowly in a standing position. Oh, Fluttershy panicked. Vina was frantically waving her arms. "Don't!" I hobbled over. "I just need some fresh air." I moved closer to the window, tearing it open and basking in the light of the moon, breathing slowly. Unbeknownst to me, my deep breaths were turning into ragged huffs. I felt itchy all over. I salivated for no particular reason. I was even panting with my tongue out as my tail started to wag. "Yeep!" I turned around and raised an eyebrow. "What?" I growled. They all stared. Fluttershy gasped, pointing at me, stammering, pale as ever. "Fluttershy, you must promise not to speak of what you're about to see." "I don't understand." "Promise me." "I promise." Vinyl raised her hoof, ready to knock her out. "Vinyl, don't you dare!" I snarled, lunging at her. I'd moved faster than I ever moved before. Vinyl sat, her jaw agape as she sat on her hindquarters, staring at me. "Why are you looking at me like that? Don't look at me like that. Do I still look at my teeth?" They all shook their heads. "Show me, Ahti. Show me!" They all glanced worriedly at each other. Princess Luna nodded, and Vinyl brought the mirror over, wrapped in her magic. My ears wilted, and I cocked my head, trying to process a creature looking back at me in my reflection. The first thing I noticed was that my mane was a disaster. Absolutely horrendous. Seemed as if I was having a bad hair day, if you can call it that. My gray coat had grown exponentially, at least an inch or two longer. On the end of my muzzle, I now somehow have a nose, which is black and wet. My eyes went yellow, bloodshot, and feral. Opening my mouth, not only have I grown canines, but that I had two sets of very sharp teeth on upper and lower jaw, which seems to be meant for ripping and tearing. And down on my hooves, I grew a pair of wicked-looking claws. And for some odd reason, there's an unsupported format going on there. Supposedly there's some sort of picture here. 139 by 27 pixels. An unsupported format. What could this be? I'm going to take a quick look at it, or at least try to open it. Maybe it's just a picture of what Octavia looked like as a werepony. I was going to need a heck of a manicure after this. Yes. Yes, that. Uh-huh. I wonder if there's going to be a cure for this. I don't know anymore. And it looks like my upload's going to... I do remember a picture of Vinyl the Vampire and Octavia the Werepony, so I guess I could use that. Welcome to the Werewolf Clan, Octi. Just don't get the alpha mad now. Who will be her alpha? And where? My eyes twitched and I stared at myself for a while, trying to take it all in. So what? Is this some kind of joke? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? In my imaginary world, Vinyl would have told me that this was all an elaborate prank on her part. The fangs in her mouth would be plastic, and I wouldn't be... Well, am I a werewolf now? I asked, my voice a little growl. It was deeper and much more harsh to listen to. It was hard to talk with a mouth full of sharp teeth. Not quite. Not quite. Werewolves only transform in the light of a full moon. But while that still applies to you, it would make more sense to call you a lichen. Yes. So in other words, a monster. Unlike a werewolf, you get the ability to transform at will. Gift? I scoffed, wheeling at her. You think this is a gift? I believe your situation is not as awful as it seems, Luna said quietly. Was this a curse or a blessing? Peeling off the bandages revealed my wounds already beginning to heal. I felt stronger, faster, and sharper, and my hearing was starting to become more acute, and already I was beginning experiencing new smells. I turned away, gasping, resting my hooves against the window pane, my claws digging into wood. I never wanted this. No pony does. Of course not. You just fucking ran into the fucking woods and tried to fucking eavesdrop. A nosy little mare. That's what happens when you get nosy. Shit happens to you and you become a monster for the night crowd. Somebody kind of witch doctor. Call Sakura. Yes! I never asked for any of this, but since when did I ever have to invite trouble in? It came to me. I'm a magnet for trouble, it seems. Fluttershy, you can come down now, Luna called. Oh no, thank you, Princess. That's very kind of you, but I'd rather not see anything that would get anyone in trouble. I'm plugging my ears, I'm blindfolding myself right now, and Angel's tying me to a chair. Fucking hell! Take it. If you took this out of context, this would probably imply Fluttershy is into BDSM. Talk about hearing no evil, speaking no evil, seeing no evil, and hell, doing no evil. Is this permanent? Wait for it. Yes. I laughed right in her face. You can't be serious. I'm sorry. I was outraged. Understandably so. I have a right to be. I felt cheated by the world. I want to scream at the top of my lungs at the injustice of it all. I wanted to find somebody to blame, to focus my anger on. Never before had I felt so predatory. Violent, even. There has to be a cure or something like that. Anything, please! If there was, I'd give it to you, but unfortunately for you and the lost soul that bit you, there isn't. A lost soul? A lichen that bit me? What happened to them? Luna sighed, a faraway look in her eyes. They were past the point of no return. The poor creature you met has probably lost all its mental facilities, memories, personality. Only through guidance of the poor, lichens are able to live as normal ponies. She faced me. You mustn't lose yourself. In the face of the demon inside me, I laughed. I just laughed. I was throwing my head back and laughing at it. At least it's only once a month, right? A full moon comes around every once in a while, I reasoned, pacing around, stumbling when I tried to step forward with my claws, just touching the mirror. Still in one piece. Everything was fine. I was still me. Still Octavia, just slightly more bitchy. Get it? Careful! Turning around, my eyes locked with my tail. There was a desire in me to chase it, of all things, so I began following with my tail around, trotting around in a circle as I tried to bite it. Octavia! Vinyl yelled. Now, Vinyl, busy chasing tail. Must have tail. And she regressed to a poor little dog. I snapped out of it, shuddering. It's not bad, see? I smiled widely. It was painfully fake and apparent. Everything's fine. Octavia is losing her mind. She's starting to sink into that little bitty panic. I wonder where in the 5 stages of grief this applies to. Maybe denial? The facade was still there. The mirror wasn't broken. Who's that in my reflection? Octavia, see? I'm right there. I'm just a little furrier. T. I mean, sure, it's a little inconvenient, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? I giggled. A sob is now creeping in. I'm right. There's a crack in the mirror. T. Finally grabbed a hold of me. I was frantic. Panicking. This is great. Just great. Octavia! She shook me, holding me. My metaphorical mirror shattered into 1,000 of tiny little pieces. I was trying hopelessly to put the pieces back together, solving the puzzle, cutting myself in the process. I just couldn't help it. I cried. I broke down. My laughter broke into sobs and the waterworks came. It looked pathetic to Luna. She was silent as I held Vinyl, trying to burrow deep into her coat. I felt a comforting hoof on my shoulder. Sadly, it wasn't Vinyl's. All is not lost, Octavia, Luna cried triumphantly. There is hope, salvation. She began to rise, hooves to the sky. And I thought I was a drama queen. For you are not the only one. There is an organization dedicated to helping ponies like you and Vinyl as well. I bit my lip. What choice do I have? Go on, I sniffed. I extend a hoof and welcome you. She paused, most likely for dramatic effect. The inner circle. I wiped a tear and found myself chuckling. Really? What? Luna descended from the air, rubbing her head where she had bumped into the ceiling. Yeah, she ended up getting a little too dramatic. Remember, she's in a small-ass cottage on the edge of the ever-free forest. The inner circle? I've got to come up with a better name. Luna flushed. It is a perfectly legitimate and innocuous-sounding name for an organization. Does it not strike fear into your heart? Does it not sound mysterious? The inner circle makes it sound more like a crime syndicate. I mean, Vampires Anonymous? Supernaturals? I like it, she mumbled. Are there any introductions like, hi, I'm Octavia, I'm a lichen. Hi, Octavia. Is there a 12-step program? Names aside, what the inner circle does is no laughing matter. For centuries now since its inception, We have worked together to assist and aid vampires, lycans, and creatures alike with coping with their condition. I am its founder. Princess, does your sister Celestia, Princess Celestia, does she know who you are? Luna smiled. Of course. She's perfectly aware of my vampirism, though not afflicted with it herself. In fact, once she allowed me to feed off of her. Okay, too much information, I shouted quietly. Yeah, that's a little bit TMI, Princess. In any case, Vinyl Scratch's recent actions have nearly led us to be compromised. Our parents, who donated generously, might have had, are willing to cover the cost of damages. Really, that was the best you could come up with? Vinyl smiled cheekily. Improvise. There were some reservations. Princess, will there be problems in our relationship? Pardon? Asked Luna. See, the thing is, Vinyl and I are together. How sweet. What problems do you speak of, Octavia? Well, see, this lycan, and Vinyl's a vampire. Luna sighed, rolling her eyes. No, you two will not be at odds. It seems that many think that lycans or vampires are locked in some fierce war. Yeah, I don't get it either. I blame the movie Van Helsing. And Ultraviolet? And the Twilight Saga? Seriously, fuck the Twilight Saga. I mean, it makes sense if we were like cats or something. Why can't we be friends? She sang. That was relief. What do members of the circle do, Princess? First and foremost, our goal is to help each other, and our second goal is perhaps a little less noble. We're the ones who keep things the way they are, if you know what I mean, Kyle said. Quester's not ready to know about us, and you got ponies like me making sure things stay that way. You mean you work to keep our existence a secret? By any means necessary. She nodded. I frowned, studying my claws. Not like I have a choice, and I have no idea what I was getting myself into, so I extended my hoof. Luna smiled, shaking it. Welcome to the inner circle. When do I start? Meetings are every Friday, and you also get in a very lucrative deal at your local supermarket. It's fucking hell. Oh, shit. Huh. Do you guys have a secret underground cave where you hold all your meetings? Oh, this is Octavia asking. Luna frowned. No, we just meet at a local donut shop. I just perked an alarm. Ah, it seems that the moonlight beckons. Shush, Baloo Plony. I want to go out. I let my new body take over, darting to the open window into Fluttershy's yard. I sniffed the ground, my rear in the air as I clawed around. She's like a dog! I barked. I beg your pardon. I am no such a squirrel! Ball later, squirrel now! She's essentially a dog now. A dog pony. Hey, Auntie! She waved the stick around. Fetch! Vinyl hurled the stick away, and I came back with a tree. Who's a good girl? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, ow, ow, ow. Luna laughed, amused at our antics. I laughed at Vinyl's face, having tackled her to the ground. Bleh! I planted my haunches down and howled a bone-chilling howl. And I'm not going to do that. That was a good one, Vinyl said nervously. I shall have my guards monitor you two for the rest of the night while I leave. I trust you won't enter yourselves into any costume contest. Yeah. Once upon a time in the magical land of Equestria, where mystical creatures roamed, there's a secret world where supernatural creatures like vampires and werewolves were real. A secret world where magic and myth, legends and conspiracies came to life before your very eyes. And now it seemed I was a part of this secret world. So that was it. I lived the rest of my life as a lichen. Sunshine and rainbows from here on out. Maybe we all shared a laugh at this at the end of all of it. Was this my happily ever after? There were no happy endings. I lied to myself that it wasn't over. It won't be. Not by a long shot. But we seem to be forgetting something. Fluttershy then whimpered, "Hello, is anybody there? Can somebody untie me?" The chapter's starting to get a little bit lengthy, so maybe 16 or 17. Who knows? Let's see. We ducked back inside, closing the windows and locking the doors. Luna's guards stood outside, stalwart as ever. It seemed that if I stayed out in the moonlight long enough and a full moon, I would slowly change back. It was a painstaking process, and waiting at least an hour for my claws to retract and the coat to shrink, we talked to Fluttershy. The sweet thing, she let us sleep over for the night. "Any pony friends with the princess is a friend of mine," Final said, still wanting to deck her, but Fluttershy assuaged her fears. "Don't worry, I'm sworn to secrecy, and by royalty too. That's even more than a pinky promise, even though I really don't understand what's going on." Final took the couch she had offered, but I really wanted to sleep on the ground. I trotted around in a circle before settling down in a comfortable position. Final stared. "What are you doing?" "I don't know. It just felt right." Things would never be the same for either of us, and there's no going back. We reached a pivotal moment past the point of no return, and there's only a few hours until daybreak, and we decided to make the most of it. Vana was out like a light and snorted softly. My eyelids dropped, a wave of exhaustion flooding over me. Meanwhile, lights, camera, action. Enter an expensive mansion nearly the size of a castle, with an elegant hedge garden with a fountain in the center. The family that lived here was rich. Cue classical music, somber and simplistic in melody. Transition to inside a hall. A dustbin little filly near the massive window, the sunlight casting a shadow that stretched across the smooth floor. A second shadow, her mother. "Mother, did I do good?" "Average." "Oh, again, and this time no mistakes." "Yes, mother." Cut. There we go. The train ride was uneventful, mostly me sulking near the windows. Vinyl went home. The princess was long gone. She didn't have time to deal with us lesser mortals, I suppose. Or maybe she was just busy. In any case, I had rehearsals. I skipped out for at least a week. There was going to be hell to pay. "Where in Tartarus have you been?" Friedrich demanded the second I walked into the studio. "What?" "This entire week you've been gone. You haven't been answering our calls. You haven't come to the rehearsals." He was pounding his hoof for emphasis with each point. What to say at a time like this? "Sorry, I've been busy as of late." "Busy making out with your mare friend?" My eyes flashed and I was nearly at his throat, inches away from trotting at him, purring. "What I do in my own personal life is none of your business." The jaws hit the floor. Harpo and Brass Beauty stared, unable to comprehend the calmest of Octavia losing her cool. Frederick mumbled an apology. He sniffed, his nose scrunching up in distaste at our close proximity. "Ew, you smell like a wet dog." "Are you going to let him talk to you like that?" "Show them who's boss." "And you look like you just stuck your face in a blender and set it on high, but you don't see us telling you about it," I snapped. Before I could even process the words coming out of my mouth, I stuffed a hoof into my mouth, my eyes bulging. "Oh-ho! You have the right to remain bird!" Brass hollered, shoving her foot in his face. Harpo glanced worriedly at me. He's idly strumming his harp. What was I saying? "Huh? Sorry?" I barely managed to stammer before I ran from the room, not even bothering to bring my cello along with me. Brass screamed, "Scorch!" "What's gotten into her?" Frederick snapped. I stormed out of the building, trying to calm myself. How would I face them again? At least I had an excuse for not showing up tomorrow. Pony Joe's Donut Shop, I expect something a little more professional, or at least secretive. In my saddlebags, my phone rang. What, she has a phone? Yeah, what? I asked abrasively. I haven't even checked who called. Octavia? Father, hello! It would mean the world to your mother if you came to visit. I rubbed my head. Of course. She was still in the hospital, right? Maybe the mom to take advantage of a bump to the head. Although Final did have a pretty mean right hook. Now, where is she? Condola Hospital, 5th floor, room F. Be there in 5. I flipped the phone shut. Father was always distant, impersonal, only spoke out of necessity even with his own wife and daughter. They were perfect for each other. Who knows, maybe this will go well. I'll say hello and be on my merry way. Cut to a few minutes later. I don't want you hanging around that DJ! Oh, this is not going to go well. You don't get to tell me what to do, I shouted before realizing what I'm saying. Those weren't my words. It was that voice. Watch your mouth, young filly. I'm still your mother. I'm not your little filly anymore. You will do as I say. Fuck you! I barked impulsively. Octavia! I slammed the glass door behind me, cringing as I heard the sound of glass splashing all over the floor. Nurses and doctors stared. One dropped the pencil she was holding in her mouth, and the desk pony spilled her coffee, and you could hear a pin drop. I can fix that. That went well. Fast forward. How was your day? Pretty awful, thanks for asking. Auntie, how's dinner coming along? Auntie? And we're late on last month's rent. I should reschedule. Ooh, shiny. I couldn't tear my eyes away from the silver kitchen knife. I tell you, don't touch that. You still touched it. While I'm touching it, my hair seems to burn and sizzle. Seems my hood has spontaneously combusted into flames. I noted dully, holding it up for her for a second. What? Lionel said. You want me to get the fire extinguisher? Break in case of supernatural creatures. Please do. Cue the screaming. First day as a Lycan, I still managed to end up at the doghouse. Vinyl had wanted me to stay home by myself. She even insisted having someone come over to watch me. Have any cravings? Any homicidal thoughts lately? Sure, I could kill you for doing this to me, but I won't. I assure you I'm fine, I lied. I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself. Look, I'm not too comfortable with this. I'll have somebody come and check on you when they can, alright? The second the door closed, I began pacing in a circle. My tail wagged around even as I tried to read to take my mind off things. I just couldn't stay still. I had to move. I couldn't help it. I have no control over my own facilities. I sat on the couch only to start scratching. It was starting to get worse. They are weak. The voice in my head wouldn't just shut up. I needed something to take my mind off my current situation. Turning to the bottle would have been irresponsible. I was better than this. Better than the like it in me. You were strong. I slumped over, groaning. I took out a glass with 2 ice cubes and a bottle of scotch, pouring a good amount in it. Swirling it around, I studied the orange liquor before tilting the glass back. It was unbecoming of me, really. I didn't booze very much. Once in a while, maybe, but not all the time. You are the alpha mare. Shut up. The drink went down like fire. You poor helpless thing. I needed a refill. There was a time where I rejected things like destiny or fate. I was starting to figure out that I had the worst luck of Equestria. There's nothing more deceiving than to believe that you ran your life, that you had some semblance of control. You were large and in charge. We were all insignificant specks of dust in an infinite universe, trying to make the best of the situation. No pony knew what they were doing, why they were doing it in the first place. It was like gambling. The cards had been dealt when what was left was us grasping at straws. You pay or play. Or maybe it was like playing jazz music. Just roll with it. You just improvised. I knocked back another one. Yeesh, ponies were always told me I got sappy and philosophical when I drank. And where was I in the middle of this? Was I still living the dream? Where was the candlelight upscale penthouse, the bits, the extravagant parties, the concerts in Bluebell Hall? That dream was starting to slip away. No, no, someday, I said, if only to reassure myself. Bottoms up. Someday? Someday your dream will come true? How pathetic. Was that how I coped with the truth? What I told myself to help me sleep at night? I was the mule trotting forward for that carrot that dangled just out of my reach. The dream of mine turned around on me. Who was I? A nobody, a duped has-been cello player for a quartet, playing lounge music just to pay rent. We all had been banking on the Grand Gallic Gala to rake into cash, and reality came crashing down on me, and I was treated with a glimpse into my bleak future. Suddenly I was old. My dream, not a chance. I wasn't going to happen, and it probably never would, because I wasn't ever going to do it anyway. Now is the old Octavia weak and feeble. I am new Octavia, stronger, faster, better. At least I have family. Mom, she cares. I know it, I said. I thought saying it out loud would make it true. Your mother despises you. I have friends? You don't have friends. Acquaintances, co-workers maybe. They don't deserve you. Shut up! I hurled a bottle against the wall, watching it smash on impact. I clutched my head, groaning, failing to my knees. I was due a hangover straight from Taurus. Let no pony stand in your path. Prove your dominance. I didn't even feel my head hit the ground as I passed out. I sat in the shadows in the farthest corner of the room. The balcony window had been smashed. My sharp ears twitched, able to pick up faint sound of Vinyl's footsteps approaching. My heart raced as she came closer. That final moment as she fished the key out of her bag, then shoved it in the lock, twisting it. The door swung open and Vinyl stared. Jesus, Octi, you look like hell. She stepped forward into the light. She stopped when she saw my face. Is that blood? Dark crimson stained my coat and my muzzle. It was like the life had been sucked out of my eyes. I was scared, traumatized. I stared off into the distance of 1,000-yard stare. It took us a nod and Vinyl dropped her bags, rushing over to me. What happened? She asked. I don't know, I spat. I felt that rise of the old familiar feeling on my gut. No, wait. That's just... uh-oh. I ran over to the bathroom, emptied in contents on my stomach into the toilet. What had I eaten? Never mind, I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. Did you get drunk? You bet your ass I did, I gasped, wiping my mouth before I continued the retch. My contact said she rang the doorbell a dozen times. She tried knocking and almost considered breaking the door down. Vinyl leaned in. I don't want to kiss. It made me sick. Instead, she licked the blood from my cheek, smacking her lips. Rabbit. I didn't even want to know how she knew what rabbit's blood tasted like. What did you do? I already told you. I don't know. One second I'm in the loft, passed out on the floor. When I woke up, I was still here. Except this time I'm covering... Vina wasn't prying around anymore. She was locking all the doors, closing the windows, pulling all the curtains. Did any pony see you? How am I supposed to know? For a while, Vina struggled over what to do, muttering to herself before sitting on a decision. Octavia, I gotta run. What? She sighed. It seemed like she was in a hurry. You don't want to know what I do for the inner circle? This is what I do. I run damage control. Now I gotta go. And clean up my mess. It's practically the dead of night, Vinyl. How are you gonna find out what I did? I got this, she said cockily. Vinyl? She turned briefly. Were you gonna say something? Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Okay, fine. I heaved a heavy sigh. I don't know how to tell you this. You want to break up? I stammered. No, I simply want to take a break. Is that what they call it these days? Had there been anything between us in the first place? Was it something official, or was it something that needed no words? We never discussed anything. I'd kiss her, she kissed me, we slept together, we cuddled for a while, and that was it. It seemed like we had passed the initial puppy love stage in our relationship. Pun not intended. After the novelty and passion wore off, I had seemed so sure that vinyl was the object of my desires in the heat of the moment. Vinyl, a break doesn't mean anything. Just some distance. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I think so too. What a gawked. Frankly, I'm a little insulted. Ate, the last thing you need right now is a relationship. You got too much on your plate. You got a job, performances, and you got to deal with the new body of yours. You don't need me to make things worse. You don't do that! Maybe I don't, but your parents are going to give you enough grief already. Let's not give it another reason to make your life miserable, right? This is so stupid. Let's just back off for a while, huh? This was a blessing in disguise. I nodded, a bit too eagerly. My thoughts exactly. Thanks, Final. It was a clean break. We'd severed our relationship cleanly, and both parties had come out unscathed. It was almost too perfect. I suppose once in a while things had to work out right. But don't get any ideas. I'm not moving out, you know. I smiled. She closed the door. She poked her head through again. I'll still be here, don't worry, she winked. You're not alone in this. My journey continued on through the night. I had a feeling things were just getting started. And the band played on. And there's a link to this at the end of chapter 13. And the song chosen was Max Payne 3. The theme to Max Payne 3. Yeah. I can't include it on here because I'm reading this through a different computer and also copyright. Our next chapter is 14. The club can't even handle me right now. The previous chapter was called Into the Night. I didn't sleep. I didn't need to. I was afraid to close my eyes. The monster inside me would wake. When I got up to the balcony window, it was fixed. The glass was swept up, not a trace of any of these nocturnal activities. Did you find it? Uh-huh. Final nodded, peeking out the corner of her eye as she sat down for coffee. You want the details? Not a particular no. Good, I won't tell you. I'll say, though, it's very messy. Final? Look, seriously, what the hell did you do to the poor bunny? I'm not going to go into specifics, but there was a lot of blood and it was everywhere. I ran to the bathroom, barfing. Yep. Barfing up. Especially when you're not used to all of a sudden finding out you can eat animals. I think you need to take the day off. Final, I've been taking days off. I've been using up nearly half my sick days. I mean, having fun. Fun? Right in there, I should have stopped her. She sucked in and began to sing. F is for friends who do stuff together. Please don't sing. U is for you and me. I swear to Celestia Vinyl not to sing, it gets too early. It is for everywhere, anytime at all. I shoved a hoof in her mouth, silencing her. I will rip your throat out. Aw, somebody all grumpy didn't get their morning coffee. What do you do for fun anyways? I play my cello. Octavia, it's your job. That's not fun. I said my job wasn't fun. Moving on! Well, sometimes I listen to music, but you can do that anytime. I read books. You're such a Twilight Sparkle. I need to take you out. Where would you like to go? I thought we were taking a break. Doesn't mean we can't do things together. What do you have in mind? She leaned in, whispering. I flushed. Oh, no. What, you never? You mean you've never? Never, I gasped, scandalized. My parents would never let me do that. put her hoof down, determined and flipping on her shades. It's time to pop your cherry, Octy. And this looks like I may need to put on a maturity filter up. Did you see how big it was? It was huge. So long and thick and creamy. It got all over my face, I shuddered. Oh, I know. I had to lick it off you. It was so sticky, too. I can't believe you swallowed that entire thing down your throat. I didn't think I could take it all in. Passing ponies walked on the sidewalk, stared at us, their minds working to put two and two together. Mothers covering their foals, virgin ears. As Vile said, "That was the best banana split I ever had. Where the heck did they find bananas that huge?" I fucking can't. I was worried we'd be going into a smut kind of experience, because I don't think I have a mature filter on this. Besides, if I wanted it to be a smut, I look for it. Oh, Celestia, with all the chocolate syrup and whipped cream, I'm gonna need to work my flank off. I keep trotting down the street amiably until I realized Viola was no longer with me. Looking back, I could see she was staring at a particular restaurant we had visited and been banned from in the past. An all-you-can-eat buffet with salads, soups, and pastas. Hardly considered high class. We come there for a meal. You know what I don't get? The drinks. I moaned. Not this again. They gave us a glass of water with a lemon in it. It was deceiving. I know, nothing was deceiving about the glass of water that we ordered. You raised the lemon. Wait, I fucked it up. You raise the glass, you smell the lemon, and you think, oh, it's going to be some really good lemonade. Only to disappointed and crushed when you realize it's just a glass of water with lemon in it. But Celestia, when you let that go, how the heck did we get banned from there? The sign said it was a buffet, all you can eat, and you ate everything. So? We glared at each other. My lip twitched. We burst into uproarious laughter, snickering, giggling. She ended up having to wipe a tear from my eye. Oh, Vinyl Scratch, fancy running into you. Oh, hey, Miss Rarity, what's up? My eyes narrowed at the cage at Rarity's side. I wasn't even concerned with the fashionista or their petty conversation. What I was more concerned was the vile creature in the cage. Oh, let me guess, she spots a cat. Oh, I growled, baring my teeth at the feline, lowering the front part of my body to instant spit at the vile creature. Opalescence hissed back, screeching and clawing at her kennel. Is your friend all right, Vinyl? She's trying to communicate with the cat, that's all. An inspiration for her next piece. Very well. I should be on my way. I'll let you know when I have another commission for you. Will do. Thanks. Stupid cat. Octavia, get a grip. Vinyl is still waving to Mr. Rarity. My ears perked. Shit, what was I doing? Why am I like this? 'Cause you like doggy style. God damn it! God damn it! Why did you fucking do that to me, Vinyl? You fucking pun! Many ponies came as they were, fangs and exposed and eyes crimson. There was a fellow lichen or two crouched on the floor, tails wagging. Among the crowd of ponies packed in the donut shop, there was Vinyl's parents. There was Luna, Fleur-de-Lis, and Fancy Pants of all ponies. Many of them I didn't recognize. In fact, nearly everyone there, I have no clue as to their name. Although I recall seeing the one with the top hat the other day. Fancy Pants. Oh, hello, Octavia, Fancy Pants said, adjusting his monocle. What brings you here? You're one of them, aren't you? I blanched, nodding. Vinyl finally sink your teeth into? Well, yeah, but no, not really. I'm assuming you're one. Heavens no, I made it a point to come along with Fleur to understand his situation a little better. Although, may I say, I wouldn't mind if she sanguinates me, if you get my drift. It sanguinates? That was a little bit of a troubling word. Talk about fucking trying to pronounce words when you have a high school level education completed. No secret safe from me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Luna cleared her throat, sitting behind the counter. Good evening, every pony. It's currently 7 o'clock. Everyone's here and accounted for. Let's begin. Pony Joe? Yes, princess? Go just stuff salad or something. Lose weight. She levitated a pouch filled with plenty of bits. He saluted. Will do. Now, back to the... Who is this? In the back of a shop is a wall-eyed Pegasus. Vino whispered, Psst, Derpy, what the hell are you doing here? I don't know. Scram, Derpy. Okay. She crashed through the window and Luna face-hoofed. When will Twilight get involved in all this ridiculous mess? I don't know. Octavia, if you will. I paled. No, that's all right. I'm not good with public speaking. I was roughly bucked onto the stage, landing painfully on my stomach. I looked up to see Luna's kind face. I'd like you all to give our newest member to the inner circle a warm welcome. I gulped, taking the counter. Beads of sweat rolling down my face. Performing a piece using an instrument was different to speaking. On stage, I let my cello do the talking, if you will. Hi, I'm Octavia. Hi, Octavia! A chorus of voices chimed. Wow, just like what she thought of when she first turned lichen. And I'm a lichen. Boos and cheers erupted in a small donut shop. One side of the room struck a pose, throwing their heads back and howling. A woo! Score 1 for Team Lycan! Ah, screw you guys, Team Vampire all the way. And there's one solidarity voice in the background going, woo, Team Fairy! A fairy pony? Shut up! Some pony on a vampire site shouted. No one cares about fairies. You guys suck. Oh, wait. You guys do suck. Shut up. Get over yourselves. And so began a food fight of which objects of various sizes, like donuts, stress balls, and war axes for some weird reason, were hurled between both sides. Luna bellowed, "Be still!" Her eye twitching. When everybody settled down, she continued, "Now, I'd like you all to give Octavia undivided attention. I'm sure many Lycans were aware of the disturbance last night." Doing some hunting? A pony snickered. I cast my eyes down. I was turned only a few days ago on Nightmare Night. They remained silent out of respect. I thought I could handle it. I thought I had everything I control, but there was this voice in my head, saying all sorts of things, trying to make me doubt myself. I could see some Lycans beginning to nod, empathizing with me. I started to get more and more aggressive. I'm grouchy, short-tempered, unpleasant, clumsy even. I kept bumping into ponies and breaking things. I couldn't take it, so I started drinking. "What's your poison?" one called. "Applejack Daniels." "A fucking course!" Jesus. There was a collective cringe in the shop. Oh. The entire bottle? I woke up, I don't know, 2 hours later. I was coated in blood. They weren't ridiculing me. Their gasps were genuine. I found out later it was rabbit's blood. "And how did that make you feel?" Luna asked. "Just awful. I felt traumatized, horrified. I would stick to my stomach." I was thinking something along the lines of indigestion, bloating, but that works. Once again, the room exploded in chattel. "Yeah, rabbits don't go down well." "You think?" "Whoever said that, you fucking think?" "Hey, did it taste good?" I blinked. "I'm not sure." The Princess of the Night raised her hoof, silencing the ponies. "Thank you," I said, dashing off the counter. "Let this be a reminder to all of you to be vigilant. We all have our demons. Octavia here was very lucky her situation was not worse. I would also recommend that you don't drink at all, which impairs judgment and clouds the mind. This received groans as I sank down on my seat. Good job, Octavia. Not only are you a lichen, you're also an alcoholic. Last I checked, says Crystal Wing, you can't become a fairy through curses. I don't even know why the hell there was a fairy there amongst them. That's strange. Let me make this clear. If you are discovered, we will not be able to help you, she paused, letting her words sink in. You can release names, but we will deny your existence in this group. The best we can do is provide you a new identity. From the moment you are discovered, you are on your own. Well, I guess it wouldn't be much of a secret organization without the secrecy. Moving on, Luna cleared her throat. As per request, we've gotten more family-friendly packaging for blood packs in the form of juice boxes. The vampires cheer, giving each other hoof bumps. And they even come with holes for you to sink your teeth into. How cute. So what do you think? It's like a dysfunctional family with a tyrant of the reins running the show, I answered. So that's it, huh? Just about sums it up, yeah. You meet once a week to talk about your feelings? That's very funny, Octi. You know, you got a great sense of humor. I took the compliment. I suppose it's time we head home. Are you freaking kidding me? She tilted her shades down, giving me an are you freaking kidding me look. This is the best time of the day. Come on. I had no choice but to follow her. Into the jungle we went. The entrance was extravagant and flashy, with a candlelight flare thrown in with ivory walls and gold trims strewn all over the place to hide the rot underneath. Lines of ponies wound around the sidewalk and buildings, waiting to get past the bouncer, and Vinyl walked straight up into him. You know my name, she grinned. As I made my move to follow her, I was stopped by an unfurling wing. She's my friend, Vinyl said. Using magic, she shoved open the doors with a bang and a flourish, revealing two paths that snaked down into the mosh pit. There was electronic music, but unfortunately the link this guy used for when he describes the electronic music is sadly a link that's dead. The video is no longer available. The YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated. Considering this was from 2012, given that this is pretty much 7 years later that I'm doing this after publishing, yeah, it wouldn't be surprising. The checkered floor was illuminated, flashing neon colors in sync with the music playing over the sound system. I had to flatten my ears just to be able to think straight. The bass was a constant pounding ache in the back of my head, shaking the room. Flashing lights, laser shows, the place reeked of cigarette smoke, stale booze, greed, things I don't care to mention, and was filled to the brim with calls, way too much money and free time to spend on fillies that have way too much money on free time. I followed Vinyl through that sea of glow sticks and writhing bodies. This was the nightlife tourists paid to experience. Even in the pristine capital city, money can go a long way to having guards turn the other way when patrons at Club Candlelight indulge in their vices. Here they have all kinds of party favors imported straight from the zebra badlands. Pick your poison. I knew she was better than that, but I wouldn't put it past Vinyl to indulge in that sort of thing at least once in her life. I needed a drink already, but I needed to lay out the sauce. I need to make sure I didn't lose control. You can't lose something you never had. That niggling. Why does it say niggling? Why is there such a word as niggling? It's in here. The niggling voice in the back of my head. That's just asking for me to get bad. It was this nagging voice there in the back of my head, there to whisper my doubts. I'm sure many of you would expect that I could differentiate between my thoughts and the wolf inside of my soul, but that's the most disturbing part. These thoughts are not separated by a raspy growl that hissed those words in my ear. It's in my own voice, and there were words of that aren't my own. Vinyl, I shrieked. You can't just jump on the stage. And why not? Vinyl struggled with the DJ currently at the stand, snatching the microphone away from them with her magic. Feedback. Everyone yelled, flattening their ears. Hey-o! DJ Pony in the house! Cheers, stomping, elation that their temptress of the record had come. It wasn't just a stage name, it was a personality. Larger than life, the life of the party. And this, all of this with all of its flaws, was her domain. You don't even have your set. Don't need it, she scoffed over to the record library. What tunes you got? Sapphire Shorts, really? The DJ stuck his hoof out of his gesture. It wasn't a nice one. Eek! Vinyl levitated me to the DJ stand where I stood alongside her. For a very special Sun Pony in the room, you know who you are. This little remix is for you, baby. And there's another link in here. That's Wolfgang's Fifth Symphony by Wolfgang Gardner. It's a radio edit. I gasped, hearing a familiar classical tune. I blushed, unable to keep a grin on my face as Pony lavished me with cheers. I curtsied. Her horn fizzled and sparked with strain as I saw her manipulate knobs and switches and dials to make my head spin. She was beautiful. And for a while I was able to live and forget. That night I realized sometimes something good comes out of it all. Something you know you wouldn't deserve in a million years. Something that gives you a reason to go on. Not quite so black and white. That's number 15. Vodka on the rocks. Soda. She's trying to stay sober, she explained to the bartender. I gotta get back to the stand. My audience awaits. Alright. I scowled. She trotted away. Try to get a drink in this town. I ended up cracking a can open with a hiss and a pop, sipping at the froth and swallowing the zingy flavor. As I set the can down, I became aware that some pony was staring. She had the eyes of a hawk, maybe a killer. They were cold, dull, jaded, and silver. Everything about the mare was silver. Short and professional, bleached silver, coat much like the rest of her. Gunmetal gray. She wasn't like the others. Maybe just as robotic as the ponies on the dance floor, riding to the electronic music, shallow and hollow. That there was something different about this one. There was something much more to her. The way she moved, the way she spoke. The calculating gaze never wavered, not once. I feel uncomfortable. Nice to meet you. The voice was smooth and velvety. Silver Streak, she said without even waiting. Oh wait, let me take a look at this. Well, never mind. Unfortunately, I forgot Silver Streak is also the name of the movie. With Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. I forgot that was a thing. I can't look it up. Damn it. I shook carefully. Octavia. The horn glowed and I found an envelope being pushed on my hooves. I recommend opening that later someplace more private. Maybe it's just a hangover getting to me, but I decided to humor the mayor for a bit. Of course. Confidential, you have my word. Silver Streak smirked, her face twisted in an expression I recognized as patronizing. Keep an eye out. By tomorrow you'll see your face all over the papers. And with that she drifted, disappearing into the nightclub. What was that supposed to mean? And who was she? It was all too mysterious. Never mind that. Another soda, please. Have fun? Absolutely, I giggled, skipping along with Vinyl. 2 hours to the crack of dawn, and up the stairs we went, laughing and giggling like fillies. What you got there, Octy? Oh, some pony handed this to me. It told me to open it later. You could feel the atmosphere change around Vinyl. It's almost as if the air had been sucked out of the world. The warm fuzzy feeling I had standing next to her faded into a sinister thing. The other side of Vinyl was back with a vengeance, methodical and ruthless in her dealings. By any means necessary, Vinyl were protecting. That feeling in my gut, it was back. fear. My mouth went dry as I saw who was striking a pose in the picture. A vile canine hunched over Canterlot Park, bringing its teeth to the camera, blood and saliva dripping from its muzzle. Say cheese. Stamped on the rear, the familiar symbol of a purple treble clef. A gorgeous maroon with leaves and twigs. At least you got your good side. On the back of the photograph were two words that made our hearts stop. We know. The impromptu visit was met with slight irritation on the part of Princess Luna, who had just gone to bed. Though when Vinyl explained the situation, she snapped to attention. I watched them pace back and forth together in a circle. If the situation was serious, if it wasn't so serious, I might have laughed. Someone please tell me what's going on. Shh. At least Octi not now, but Octavia, please! I screamed, enraged without thinking. I let my frustration take hold. The beast to me awakened. Feral thoughts of aggression filled my mind as I growled, snorting. My legs were bent. I was crouched. I was laid at lunge. Tell me! Finally, Lana flinched. I shook my head, looking down at my claws and feeling a bit furrier. I squeaked, whimpering as I let myself change back. I'm sorry. For a while, I sat, ashamed. After a while, I spoke up. If it helps, the pony you handed me, you said her name was something silver. Stripes, I think? Linavile stared. It looked like you've seen a ghost. Caught my eyes together. Wait, Silver Streak! God damn it! Vinyl roared. Not these guys again! It was hard enough to leave a dent. Slow down. New to all this? Anyone here to explain? The Silver Horseshoes. It's an organization. Was this some sort of new trend? I groaned. Where do equestrian ponies find time to join secret societies? Don't they have day jobs? A life? The Princess furrowed her brow. As I was saying, the Silver Horses are seemingly hell-bent on making our lives a living Taurus. So they don't like vampires or lichens. Reason? Motive? If there was any reason to target us, we are unaware of, and they seem to target most supernaturals. And? That's it. You're telling me you don't know anything about these. Watch your tone. I'm sorry. There is a point to being a secret organization, Octavia. Even as Princess of the Night, I'm not privy to everything that goes on. And I don't know everyone either. And it's my job to do the best that I can. The origin dates back to at least 2 centuries, perhaps more. Their activities were much more bloody in the past. Now they resorted through financial and political means to expose any of us. Somehow, less than the blink of an eye, our day had turned into something of a nightmare. I could barely think. Life seemed to enjoy throwing me curveballs every second. It was too fast and too quick. One second I'm having a drink, the next I'm embroidered in a war. Nothing quite like the feeling of having your dirty laundry aired out for everyone to see to make you more alert. Much like being caught stealing cookies from the cookie jar, I felt trapped. It dawned on me that these ponies, whoever they were, had me in their clutches. I could scarcely imagine what would happen, and it was horrifying to think about it. Have they ever doubted anyone? In the past, yes, and we'd be trying our best to relocate them to someplace safe, place them in a protection program. Most of the victims of the Silver Horseshoes end up in there for free, but this new generation has largely remained underground. They've been quiet for a while. Silver Streak, what a jackass. You know her? She's the head of the entire organization, Luna explained. Not the first time she has attacked us like this. Just burn it, plain and simple. This is just a copy. You think they'd be dumb enough to hand over the real thing to you, Vinyl spat. They have to have it archived somewhere. She said she would go public with the information, right? And I quote, by tomorrow you see your face all over the papers. She stomped on a hoof. Equestria Daily, that has to be where they sent the story. Can't you do something about this, Princess? Luna shook. We're afraid not. We're not allowed to interfere with the media and press. I've got this, Princess. You have permission to do what is necessary. Oh, don't worry, I'll have everything. No, I yelled. Vinyl, I can't keep having you clean up after me. I'm not taking you along, and this is not up for a discussion. I sat down. I stared down at her, my expression earnest. Luna silently watched us stare at each other. Princess, come on, tell her. It's her choice, she deserves to know. She growled. Fine, just don't get in the way. You're not going to like what you see. I didn't sleep well. She grabbed the janitor by his mane, slamming his head into the glass. I shrieked, recoiling as shards splattered all over the floor. Final dangled him by his collar out the window, the hoof and magic, the only thing standing in the way of him and the long trip down. Equestria Daily's headquarters was basically the run-of-the-mill printing press and newspaper agency rolled into one. It was a bit of a stretch to say that they were a reputable source. Supposed to be empty, seeing it was past closing hours. I realized that night how good Vinyl was at breaking things. Breaking into Equestria Daily was a breeze for her, and it seemed she was cracking skulls and breaking windows. Do you know she keeps masks around? She has a special set of dyes to blot out the cutie marks. Where is it? Throwing the rules out the window, odds are you'll go that way too. What are you doing? I screeched. The poor stallion screamed at the top of his lungs, about to wet himself as his legs dangled precariously in the air. A final cabinet, top shelf! Vinyl dragged him back inside, dropping him on her rolling shield on the ground, sweating and pale. She let him screen his head off and run down the hall, probably to hightail it out of here. You didn't have to do that. No loose ends. It was unnecessary. Will you shut up and help me? Harsh. I pulled open the filing cabinet, searching through the files before it was promptly knocked over. The cabinet tripped over and fell with a crash. Final! We're not going to search for it. Then what are we doing? Burning it! She lowered her head, horn glowed and sparkling. I pushed her away. If we don't find it, this will all be for nothing. I sifted through the packets and folders to the most recent. Found it! Good, put it in a trash can. Final, I think we should shred it. Put it in! I tossed it into the bin, watching as she set fire to the contents. I gasped, pulling back, watching the embers rise and glow, the smell of paper. She was burning it all right, along with just about everything else in the room. Smoke filled the room. Final, this is insane. We're committing arson, and you're an accomplice. What's your point? We could have just taken the real photo. You think that was a real one? This was another copy, and it never ends there. This, she dropped her saddlebags on the floor. The contents of the bag fell with a solid thud. This is about sending a message. I guess I was watching her let data detonate her. Her bags, well, I'm going to say explosives. Time to bail. She shoved me through a window that led to a fire escape. My mind was numb as I held onto her, following her down the iron staircase and back into the streets, gazing at her. Take it or leave it was the only chance given. It made you think about free will. Had our choices been made for us because of who we were, my options had narrowed to a single path on that road. The Royal Guards are here, I hissed as we ran down the street in the opposite direction, ditching masks in a storm drain. Good. Click. Boom. I cringed, flattened my ears, and drummed to the ground as a horrifying boom ripped through the night. And also through the floor we'd just been on, destroying any evidence. The explosion had started a fire, burning bright. The flames raged, with black smoke rising from the building. Red, orange, yellow, hot to the touch, incinerating everything in its path. Yet the flames couldn't burn away the crimes. They only made the shadows behind me leap higher. I watched numbly as the building was engulfed in flames, the smell of misery and smoke filling my nostrils. I can't say I wasn't warned. Still breathing? Come on! She grabbed my hood, dragging me along. We kept running through the streets, blending into the shadows. Her domain. Our clops echoed through the night. I ran out of steam in a dead-end alleyway with steam boiling out of the sewer gates. Like all the fires of hell were burning high beneath us. We caught our breaths. Well, I caught mine while Vinyl scoped the corner, pressing up against the wall. I narrowed my eyes. They say you only know how much you love somebody when you know what you're willing to sacrifice. How far would you go to save the ones you loved? How much would you sacrifice to protect them? Sometimes it's better to not know. Despite all the lies, the secrecy, and everything, I know that everything she did out of love. Did it make it right? Alright, chapter 16. Another lengthy chapter. Maybe I can conclude here. Maybe it wind up being like 5 parts instead of 4. Because, yeah. I, it's been a lengthy reading and might as well stretch it out. Chapter 16, and I throw my hooves up in the air sometimes. Have you been subject to the force that is the Royal Canterlot voice? I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. Imagine standing in front of a tornado, though. Luna was bellowing. When I said by any means necessary, I meant short of setting off a bomb. Be fortunate I did not brand you a terrorist. Maybe you should have been more specific, Final Cringe. You idiot! What am I saying? I'm the idiot. It's a tiny bomb. How could you be so stupid? How could I be so stupid? I should have known you would pull something like this. The princess is now slamming her head into the wall repeatedly. It's a nightmare. Have you seen the headlines? That looked painful. All you had to do was sneak in and remove the evidence. I'm sending a message. You got mail. Message received, Vinyl Scratch. Do you know how this looks? Not only for Candelon, but for those of the inner circle? Very bad. How in Equestria can we even fathom exposing our true nature when we have hotheads like you pulling all these kinds of stunts? I've never seen Vinyl very meek. Would you care to blow up an embassy while you're at it, Vinyl Scratch? A schoolhouse full of fools? Maybe the local supermarket? Luna pulled herself away from the wall, baring her fangs. You're suspended from your duties as a cleaner until further notice. Vinyl wilted. Yes, Princess. It was hard to feel bad for Vinyl, seeing that Luna was right. This has turned into a grade A disaster for public relations. But in the back of my head, I was thinking of all the ways I could have prevented this. In reality, what could I have done? Could I have really stopped her? Would it have made much of a difference if I've come or not? I know Vinyl to be a bit impulsive, but this was taking the proverbial cake. Perhaps things would have been even worse if I had been there to keep her in check. Why was Vinyl acting like this? Resorting to drastic measures just to make a point. She was many things, but she wasn't dumb. She certainly knew how to act, and her attack on Equestria Daily was a calculated move of a sort. It's no wonder we have enemies. After being roughly escorted out of the castle, I wheeled on Vinyl. Why did you do it, Vinyl? She growled. It's them, Barros, Octavia. I'm done dealing with these jerks. Maybe Luna thinks we can work things out, but you know how things are. No, I don't, I snapped. You made things worse, not better. We were making breakthroughs. Mrs. Luna was saying, you're not stupid. Don't start acting now. Don't tell me you wouldn't be so naive as to even think for 1 second things would change. I would. This is Equestria. Sunshine and rainbows, isn't it? Ponies have a hard time accepting change. We could barely kiss in public. I don't think we could even marry. Us, 2 mayors. You think Equestria's going to accept us just like that? Yes. She can explain everything. She'll tell them we won't hurt her fly. Every pony may love a Princess Celestia, she scowled. But that doesn't mean they'll like it. And what then? That shut me up good. What then? Vinyl was lying. Straight through her fangs. She was emotionally invested in this. Something against that silver streak mare. Against the silver horseshoes. I just had to find out what. Or maybe I should cut things completely off. Perhaps the most jarring thing was how Vinyl could change her attitude with a flip of a switch. One second she could be DJ Pony, partying and dancing and banging her head to the beat of the music. Then she could be a predatory, a monstrous vampire. At the drop of a coin, she could perhaps be something more terrifying. This was another side that knew no bounds, no restraint, and would risk whatever it took to keep our dirty little secrets by any means necessary. Ruthless and violent. Almost psychotic. Another sleepless night happened. I was perturbed to find Vinyl up bright and early, sashaying around and singing as she made me breakfast. Never's gonna go well. Morning, Auntie. She flipped off her headphones. The way she said it was too cheerful and too innocent. It made me shiver. Good morning, Vinyl. It looked like the room had been torn apart. What are you doing? Oh, so spring cleaning. It's November. Better late than never. She said no more explosives. I'm clearing them out. You kept explosives in our kitchen pantry? A few. I have grenades stashed all over Cantalon in case of grenade emergencies. As if this was Pinkie Pie, except with balloons. What is that? I put in an object stashed inside a closet. That's not a party hat. That's not a party cannon, but that's what you're asking. I can literally see it. No, you can't. Vinyl jumped in my way, knocking a few things over on the shelf. Is that a stick of dynamite? What dynamite? Vinyl is now the demo man. And let's fast forward. I can't English. Let's flashbang the scene into another one. It looks like we're at the rehearsal this time. Did you hear the explosion last night? Beauty Brass hollered. It was so loud I could hear it across the city. Harpo shook his head. Brass not funny. Some pony could have been hurt. Ah, forget you. Nobody got hurt. Life needs a few explosions now and then to spice things up. Kaboom! They say it was a gas leak, Harp added. In a newspaper agency? Not likely. What about you, Octavia? We're the closest. Did you see anything? Well, yes, it was very loud, I stammered. It woke me up. Quite terrifying. Liar. It was a white lie. Harmless, completely insignificant in the scope of things. Then again, I suppose lies got me to where I am. I hurled myself onto my bed with a sigh. A sigh, really. Life was complicated. Life needed a pause button. A feeling of laziness overwhelmed me, and it was getting late. I yawned. Sleep now. Think later. My eyelids dropped. Hello? My voice echoed endlessly in a pitch-black darkness. I could barely see my own hooves in front of my face. I stopped myself from panicking. This is clearly a very vivid dream, Octavia. You're simply lucid. I hear a growl. And it seems that I'm not alone either. How wonderful. Once I established the fact, I contented myself with screaming my head off for a bit. It felt real. Too real. I was actually there standing, able to move and feel the invisible ground beneath me in the void. I didn't like this dream. I much prefer the one where Vinyl was wearing socks and lavishing me with kisses. I wish that too. The creature sunk closer and closer as I scrambled back. My heart racing, my stomach lurching as I realized the inevitable result of what was to come. It narrowed his eyes, sniffing at me. I could feel his hot breath against my neck. I shut my eyes, shrinking myself as much as I could. It spoke. Hi. A dark abyss illuminated itself with the flip of a switch. I stood in a white void, standing out on an invisible plain, face to face with a wolf inside me. I blinked. Hi? This was his menacing voice in my thoughts. Really? I shook my head. My dreams are stranger and stranger. Probably a good thing I stopped drinking. Good to know in my head is a big empty space. The lichen Octavia wagged her tail, panting in glee. Hi, I said uneasy. My name is Octavia, she panted. I have just met you, and I love you. Do you want me to stop there, guys? Or do you want me to continue on to another chapter? Vote in the chats. See if there's any sort of emojis that we can use. Or maybe just put in yes or no. Shit, I can't see very well. There we go. Take a break, so says the Darknin. Up to you, don't want to overdo it yourself. 2 people say I should take a break, and 2 say keep going. I'm going to need a tiebreaker. Kuranik, you didn't. That's not how you fucking. First off, let's see how long this next chapter is. Roughly 5,000 words, and things have seemed okay. We'll probably need less work to deal with come Saturday. Or maybe put on Saturday. Maybe have it an hour earlier, since it'll be on a Saturday anyway. If we want to continue, I'll try to pop in sooner. You know what? Just to make our workload lighter for Saturday, because I want to see what happens Friday, let's do one more chapter. 17. Taming the Beast. I stared, hopelessly confused. Was I having a literal conversation with myself? She spoke in a much more refined manner. I'm kidding. Her feral eyes were lit with amusement. Where am I and who are you? Well, in your head, and I'm you. My throat went dry. At least the more canine side of you. Squirrel! God damn it. Not again! I'm kidding again. That never gets old. Right. I'm unsure of the lichen's intentions. So what brings you to my head? I should be asking you that. Like what I've done to the place? She twirled around on her clawed hooves, humming a very familiar tune before falling down, splayed on her back. It's very clean. She didn't seem very hostile. Nothing like that voice, constantly whispering a dominance and pack mentality. Quirky, but friendly. She laughed again. You don't have to lie, Yuri, remember? I know all your secrets, she said, standing up, trotting over unsteadily, almost dancing as she poked me on the nose. She doesn't seem very friendly. I hear all your thoughts. Those nagging doubts in the back of your head, your insecurities. She grinned wolfishly, turning around, flicking her tail in my face. Not friendly at all. I'm only you, but better. I glanced up sharply, my eyes flashing. Hostile. There it is. That look. I've been waiting to see that. What do you want? You, of course. I'm so bored out in here. I only want to come out and play. She said sweetly, as if it was the most obvious thing. You have no idea what it feels like being trapped in a cage, or maybe you do. What's that supposed to mean? All your miserable life, you've been caged like a dog in a manor of yours. Quite a gilded cage. I shook my head. You have no idea what you're talking about. Don't I? I'm you after all. I suspect that I know you better than any pony. Your parents? Don't you dare. The lichen turned to look me in the eye with a pathetic look, brushing the strand of her straggling mane. They never loved you. You're lying. And now you moved to another cage. Only this time it's a little more trashy, and now you have a roommate, don't you? She got you on a tight leash, doesn't she? I don't know what you're talking about. Stop playing dumb. You and I both know she has you wrapped around her hoof like some kind of pet. You're wrong. Maybe I should speak it in musical terms so this gets through your head. You're always going to be bass, the accompaniment to the melody, playing second fiddle. You're never going to be first chair cellist because you're weak, and only one of us give you the alpha. You think I care about that nonsense? I snapped. Maybe you don't, but I won't have some weakling blessed with this power sitting around with idle hooves. I fumed. Look at you sniveling. Compassion is the enemy. Mercy defeats us. This is like fucking Smeagol talking to himself in The Lord of the Rings. Or Gollum. Which fucking name does he go with? Shit. Or I think he goes with both, considering he's a split personality brought on by the ring. Shit. I clenched my jaw, tensing my body. I could feel the changes starting to happen, but this time instead of unbridled rage, I felt something else. Tranquility, a calm fury. I could feel the claws starting to prick out on my hooves, fangs filling my mouth, lining my jaw with razor-sharp teeth. Senses grew sharper, and everything was clear, though there wasn't much to see, smell, or hear. But the only thing I focused on, my anger. The only thing I focused my anger on is the creature in front of me. I'm keeping my body. Oh, you gonna hit me now? The Lycan leaned in, giving me a clear shot at her jaw. Here, I'll give you an easy one. In the blink of an eye, I swung my hoof wildly, managed to connect with the underside of the jaw with a sickening crack. The sucker punch threw her off her feet and onto her back. Not bad. Still doesn't change the fact your mother still loves you. Shut up! Another punch right to her muzzle. Blood streamed freely from her broken nose. If I hadn't wanted to throttle her so much, I would have been disgusted with getting my coat stained. She ever hug you, kiss you goodnight? You were never good for her, T. My anger flared at her with her usage of my beloved nickname. I swiped at her. Shut up! My claws raking at her coat. Always average, always making mistakes. You could never satisfy her. She always wanted a unicorn. Shut up! I tackled her, screaming, frothing in the mouth. Not a friend in the world. Shut up, shut up! There was nothing left but the sound of me slowly crushing her throat with my hoofs. She gasped with a wet gurgle and tightened my grip, feeling the struggle of her hair. I'm glad we could work these out. Although technically you're trying to strangle yourself right now. I released the death grip I had around her neck, huffing and puffing. She rolled onto her side, bruised and battered. Okay. Wow. You got a mean right hook. What I said about vinyl. I lunged forward to kick her right in the gut, hearing her rib break. She groaned. It hurts, you know. Save it. No, listen. This is the problem. You never listen. Why can't you be more assertive out there? What you have with vinyl is wonderful. Really now. Then why am I here with you? Maybe because you love her. I glanced up, frowning. She struggled. I don't know, seeing as you don't even know. I'm starting to have second thoughts about her. She's nothing but trouble, I found myself saying. She nearly jumped when I felt her wrap her hooves around my neck from behind, giving me a tender hug. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't, but right now she's not the enemy. The silver hooves, remember? Or did you forget that already? Vinyl was the answer. I caught glances out of the corner of my eye, felt her presence everywhere I went. Like it or not, I needed her right now. I murmured, Squirrel. Hati, wake up! I thrashed, trying to fight my invisible attacker. I snapped my eyes open. Vinyl! She held me down, trying to soothe me with her presence. Shh, I'm here. It's all right. Are you okay? She hugged me tighter and tighter. I saw a cut on her leg. Vinyl, you're hurt. Stuff it. Have a bad dream? When you're waking up, the world is a blur. What was clear in a dream just makes no sense. You could say that. These moments, blinding as snow, they change you. You die and live again, remade, reborn anew, able to wield the darkness inside, wielding the shadow. And there's a fucking another link. And what's this link? Hendrik B. featuring Christian Alvestam, Now and Forever. God damn it. It's a soundtrack, and I can't put these. They say there are various stages of grief. I still been grieving, not for the loss of a loved one, but for myself. I thought I lost myself that night. It seemed so far away. First was the denial, pretending that nothing changed. Tried to lie to myself and tricked my brain into thinking I was still the same mayor I'd always been. Refusing... Ooh, shit. That was acidic. I refused to accept reality. Then came anger, and I was mad. But instead of expressing the anger in a destructive, wholesome manner, I let it fester, kept it bottled up inside as long as I could, until I had been given a good shake, ready to explode. You okay? I glanced down at my claws and then at her, smiling at my reflection. I gave Vinyl a sloppy lick on the cheek. Ew, gross! Get off! I laughed at her cut, giggling as she tried to push me off. It was almost morning and things were all right. I think I reached the final stage. Acceptance. And that concludes chapter 17 in this reading for now. So it's, Vinyl's a vampire. And Octavia is a Lycan. And there's a secret organization that tries to help each other. Because even though Canterlot, with all his acceptance, wasn't ready for gay marriage, at least not until as recently as like the last week, 2 weeks, where apparently Lyra and Bonbon finally hitched. Then again, this was from 2012. We were still having hostilities about that. So, what's going to happen with these two? Is this silver horseshoe going to out these people? Are they even going to be, are there ever going to be a happily ever after with these two? All of that to come.